participating members are participating remotely. That would be myself, Rob Rosa. That would be Robert Baker Sr. That would be Stephen Galley. That would be Robert Baker Jr. And last but not least would be Gregory Tanzi. I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
So moved. I got a second.
Second.
I got where did I have a second? Okay, so I got a motion from Baker Jr. I got a second from Baker Sr. Roll call. Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Sr.
Yes.
Mr. Galley.
Yes.
Baker Jr.
Yes.
Mr. Tanzi.
Yes.
Meeting is open. Let me just read the advertisement. 7:30 p.m. remotely conducted public hearing will be held by the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. on the petition submitted by Michael Trankles. Michael, is that correct? Just give me a nod, Mike, if that's correct.
Yes, you did. I'm sorry.
Okay, Michael Trankles, 273 Center Street, Hanover, Mass. 02339 for a special permit pursuant to zoning bylaw sections 415-14C.7, uses requiring a special permit, and 415-89 special permits to allow applicant to operate a retail home improvement business with storage for the sale of PVC building materials, windows, roofing, and siding rings. No flammable materials. Customers will be by appointment only. The company's fleet consists of 3 pickup trucks, 3 dump trailers. Trailers may be parked overnight occasionally. The storage container will sit outside the building. 49 Market Street is located in the B2 Business Zoning District, section 415-14 of the bylaw is further identified as lot 85, map 51 on the Rockland Assessor's map. The owner of the property is 49 Market Street LLC, Michael Ahern, manager, 190 Willard Street, Quincy, Mass. 02169. The applicant and all interested parties are advised to check the town website for additional information. Further details and plans for this project are on file in the town clerk, in the office of the town clerk and the zoning board offices. And one last thing that I usually forget to say, that this meeting is being recorded and is being live streamed. So watch your language. All right. Michael, this is the floor is yours. Talk to us.
Okay, so yeah, we are leasing this building with the intent of distribute PVC material mainly and some building accessories. We started that in our business in my business based in Hanover, but we couldn't use the warehouse that we built here, so we are leasing that building for that purpose. So the idea is to bring PVC material from China, which we are already doing, and using the location at 49 Market Street to store and distribute those products. So like it was mentioned, this will be by appointment only. The idea is to work with contractors to sell and pretty much wholesale. And that's it. PVC materials, some roofing nails, siding nails, siding screws. Nothing that's flammable, but mainly 99% will be PVC trimming boards.
Okay, if that's it, I'm going to open it up to the board, and the board's going to start asking you questions. Is that okay, Mike?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Baker Sr.
Is there going to be a dumpster on the site?
I have 2 dump trailers, not a dumpster.
Dumpster.
Dump trailers, the small trailers that we use on, we are also a home improvement company, so we use dump trailers in some of our jobs. They're pretty much the size of a car, just small dump trailers with 4 tires on it. And we use to collect debris from some roofing and carpentry jobs that we're doing to our customers.
Okay, what are you going to do with the business trash?
We bring it to Brockton, the Champion City there, Champion City Recovery, and we dump it there.
Are there going to be people there during the day?
No, just by appointment.
Okay. What are you going to do with the coffee cups and the stuff in your office? Your office waste.
No, we don't have an office there. My office is in my house in Hanover. We're not going to have an office there. It's just pretty much deposit where we're gonna store the material.
So
It won't
apparently the
help
Dunkin'
us.
Donuts coffee, the Dunkin' Donuts cups are gonna stay in the trucks. The Dunkin' Donuts bags are gonna stay in the trucks. He's asking, every business creates trash. Business in-office trash. He's
Mhm.
asking where that's gonna go.
Well, it's probably gonna stay in the truck. That we're not gonna use any. We're gonna put any trash in there. There'll be a trash barrel inside. For if we cut a piece of PVC that creates sawdust, there'll be trash barrels, and then we fill that, put that on the dump trailers, and then we go to the Brockton transfer station 2-3 times a week to dump our trailers. So there won't be any accumulation of trash whatsoever.
But you're gonna store trash on the site.
No, we don't generate trash. I don't. No, my guys don't stay there. My guys work on job sites, so there's no reason to bring any trash to the place.
When you get the material delivered to you, it comes in bulk, right?
Comes in a shipping container.
Okay, when you take that out of the container, it's wrapped with either
Yes.
plastic or steel straps or.
It comes
You-
in a.
Do you sell those by the bundle without unstrapping it, or do you sell it per board?
We sell it per board.
Okay, what are you gonna do with all the straps and stuff when you cut them off?
We dump it. Well, most of my pellets, the wooden pellets, I bring into my house. I have a big fireplace, so that I brought into my house. So that's what I've been doing with the pellets and wooden pellets.
All right, that's all.
Mr. Galley?
No, you were talking about trash, and I have no more questions about that. That was just all I could think of at the time. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Baker Jr.?
Yeah. Are there any vehicles that are going to be parked at the site?
Only the 2 dump trailers. No, we have 3 pickup trucks. One comes home with me. The other 2 goes home with my 2 of my carpenters. No, there'll be no trucks or cars parked there.
So no trucks, no vehicles, no things
No.
that go on trucks or vehicles, no trailers, nothing, right?
No, the dump trailers will be there. That's it.
Okay, and the dump trailers are used in your home improvement business?
Yes.
All right, and when they're on this site, are they going to be empty, full, partially full, whatever?
Well, if we come from a job site that be after closing hours, they'll be dumped there overnight, and then the next morning we take them and we dump them. And we're talking construction debris, nothing that would smell. Mostly roof shingles that will be loaded into it.
Now this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is essentially going to be a warehouse, correct?
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
a warehouse.
Unstaffed, and unrelated to your home improvement business.
Well, unrelated to the room, the plan was to use the name of the company there, which is Marine Home Improvement, and
I'm not talking about the corporate structure. I'm talking about the functions. So the function of the warehouse is going to have nothing whatsoever to do with the home improvement business. Is that correct?
Well, only the fact that we do use a lot of the PVC on our projects, so that's the only relation to my company.
Now you said you get your supplies or your supply is delivered by container.
Yeah.
When do you anticipate those deliveries happening? What time of day?
We only do it twice a year, and it's a big food container. They come usually at 7 o'clock in the morning. Take us 2 hours to unload them, and that's it.
So, and again, just for my understanding, this is you're seeking to operate a business here, and you anticipate whatever the sale volume is to be satisfied by 2 deliveries a year.
That's what we have right now. I can tell you about the future, but that's what we do right now. A 40-foot container has enough product to fill up the building. So I cannot have more than that. So I need to have pretty much everything sold before we can order another one. So right now it's being on a 6 months base, pretty much. If down the road, if the business grow, we're gonna need to get a bigger warehouse. That's not gonna be big enough.
So based on the 2 deliveries a year, your anticipated inventory, you anticipate that to be enough to support the business?
Yeah. It is, like I said, this is a material that we use a lot in our business. But I want to have the opportunity to also sell it since we can get it at, such a low cost. So it's an opportunity that I see that maybe start, a new business with that. So it's a tryout. For now, well, I've been doing this for 2 years already. For now, every 6 months we got a container, and it's been enough for me.
Okay. What type of signage do you anticipate being on the building or the property?
Whatever is allowed by the town. I was just gonna put a sign on the building, something nice, but nothing outrageous. So just whatever the town allows me to.
Okay. And you said whatever sales take place from that location are going to be by appointment?
Yes.
And what hours do you anticipate, or would you be seeking to have that operation?
So far every sale we did, like with my warehouse here in Hanover, we always do in the morning. So the customer will come 8 o'clock in the morning and load the stuff, and then they'll leave. But
Okay.
we also might make deliveries ourselves, so we'll load up PVC on our truck, on our trailer, and bring it to a job site. And it's we start working at 7, so it's always going to be in the morning.
Okay. So there will be vehicles, your own vehicles at the least, on that property during regular hours, right?
Oh yeah. We have to go there to load PVC for our jobs. So my pickup trucks go there in the morning if they need to collect PVC boards to some jobs. Yeah, they'll load it up and they'll go to the, to work on whatever we're working.
All right, thank you. I have nothing further right now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. I see, Steve, you're raising your hand. Now all of a sudden you got something?
I'm sorry. Yeah, just Mr. Baker's question just made me think. I'm sorry. About the dump trailers. I imagine they're like the big long ones that you take off a truck and you leave on the ground. Or are they gonna be like
No,
that?
you just connect to the back of the truck. It's like it's on a hitch. We just go
Okay.
on a pickup truck.
All right.
It's not the ones that go up on the truck. They have their own tires.
I got a question. Are they like open? So if you leave them there overnight, are they open trailers that a pedestrian could walk by and reach? Like, I don't think they'd really, you don't know who's going to climb in and out of them, but
Well,
would
they
they
have
be
tarps over it. They have 4 walls and they have tarp over the top is open, and we have a tarp holding the trash inside.
okay? And there's no fencing that would the trailers will be inside of it. Will there be?
Unfortunately, it's something that I would really like to have, but unfortunately, no. There's no fence in there.
Okay,
That is something that down the road I like to see with the town, because we do have a problem of people walking by the building, all over the building, and we have a camera there already that shows that.
Yep.
If we could keep somehow fenced in, but I don't think we can do that.
Okay, yeah, I just think about it. I don't know who would go there, but there's pedestrians in the area and it'd be vulnerable. I don't know if it's a Board of Health thing or what, but I wanted to ask those questions. That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Tanzi,
He's muted.
you're muted, Mr. Tanzi. Turn your mic back on, or there you go.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
Excuse me.
So, how many customer by appointments per day do you anticipate having, or per week do you anticipate having?
I would say 2 or 3. Again, this, the idea is to sell to contractors when they do the purchase of materials for their jobs. So the idea is to take a big load and bring it to a job site. So I don't think we're gonna have more than 2 or 3 a week. It's, we try to sell.
So does some of your sales occur where you will load up your truck and take it to a customer's job site?
It could be, yes.
Okay,
We might have that option.
all right. And what other products do you also sell?
See, right now we have, like I said, 99% will be PVC. I have a box of roofing nails. We have PVC screws and PVC plugs for the screws. I think that's pretty much it. You know, I don't want to steer too far away from PVC. The main goal was PVC. It's just the roofing nails was an opportunity that we had. We saw for a good price, so we brought a load of them, and I use them on my projects. But we don't even advertise them. Like we advertise the PVC, and that's it.
Okay, so do you do roofing?
Yeah,
You do? Okay. Do you store roofing materials in the warehouse
no,
as well?
no, no. We store the nails and not even we used to do drip edges, but it's not worth it. They get damaged. So we buy everything. We just have the roofing nails that we bought cheap, but everything else is bought here through Home Depot or one of the vendors, local vendors.
How many pickup trucks does your business
Three,
operate out of it? 3?
yeah, one F-150, 2 F-350s.
Okay. And your hours of business are basically like what, 7 to 3, 7 to 4?
Uh, for the home improvement business, will be we do work from 7 to 6 pretty much. The PVC we wanna do just mornings because that will, I use the same guys that work for me carpentry to load and unload, so I don't want to disturb their day in the afternoon. So we want to do the PVC, let's say from 7 to 10 in the morning. Much later than that.
So you have 3 trailers as well, is that correct? One for each truck?
No, it's only 2. I have 2 dump trailers that we actually might just get rid of them. They're not, it's just because the to bring trash to the transfer station, it's a nightmare nowadays. We spend 2-3 hours in the line there. So this is something that I'm considering getting rid of, and just use dumpsters from companies that they'll put their dumpster on my job sites, and they'll just take them away. So in the near future, I don't plan to have any dump trailers anymore.
Okay. Do you store the trailers inside or outside?
Outside.
Outside. All right. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Mr. Tanzi. Okay. So let's talk about that storage container that's on site right now.
Okay.
You know you're gonna have to move it.
Yes, I have to be within a certain distance from. I think I'm actually pretty close. I just need to know exactly where the lot line is. But according to the building inspector, supposed to be 5 feet away. I think I'm pretty close to that 5 feet, but we have to double check where the lot line is.
I'm gonna tell you that if you haven't moved it since you had your survey done, it's sitting on the lot line, based on the site plan that you provided us.
Like I said,
More or less.
yeah, but like I said, if we have to move it, that's no problem. We have room to move it.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to move it, and you're gonna have to provide, and you're gonna have to prove it to the building inspector.
Yeah,
So,
I got no problem doing that.
all right, so that's number one. Number two, the site is not striped right now. I know it's pretty much, I think it's 100% paved. I don't think there's any real grass on that site. Is that correct?
Yeah, this, everything is paved.
Okay, so there's no striping out there, so we don't know where anybody's really gonna be parking on the site.
Mhm.
So this is why, I think this is kind of why everybody's kind of harping on you about how many trucks, how many trailers. So
Yeah, but
we
if
need,
you look at, I'm sorry, there is, the stripe is included on the plans of, on the proposed plans.
I understand that, sir, but what I'm telling you is the site right now is not, it is
No.
not striped. Right.
No.
That's why everybody's asking about the parking.
Mhm.
I see what you have on, I see what you have proposed on the site plan. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, you all saw the site plan, is that correct? Everybody's looking at it maybe right
Yes.
now? Okay,
Yeah,
so I see what you got going on here, but all the parking spaces that are over by the, kind of in that angle on the north side that's, abutting the Walgreens property, none of
Mhm.
those are gonna work. You can't park over.
Okay.
So that's out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parking spaces for the rest of it. Is that gonna work? How many parking spaces do you need by zone?
That I don't know. That's, we presented, what we had for proposal, and I'm waiting for you guys to tell me what can and what cannot be done.
Usually it's the other way around. Usually the
Yeah.
person that's preparing the plan knows the
Yeah.
zoning bylaw and does it, but. I
Yeah,
don't know, man.
since I'm not, getting customers there, I'm not gonna be having a secretary in place, so we didn't anticipate needing parking spaces, just the idea was to leave the 2 dump trailers behind the truck, the building there. And somebody will come, stop the truck, get loaded and get out of there. And it's not gonna be like a parking lot per se. So there wasn't, when I bought, when I leased the property, there was planning for the parking spaces already. We used the same ones that were given to me, so I didn't plan for parking spaces there.
Okay, so that's gonna have to be something that we're gonna have to look at. So that's definitely one thing. Number two, when it comes to the dump trailers, you're now kind of backpedaling and saying that you're gonna not have them. You want to get rid of them. Is that that's a part of the business you don't want to be doing soon?
Oh, yeah, so I used to have 5. I'm down to 2.
Okay,
Just,
so do you not want to do it anymore? Is that what I'm trying to
no,
get that, down.
no, we don't want to use dump trailers anymore.
Okay.
It's like I said, it's too much waste of time, and it's not being productive. The use of them. We used to use them, when we were working Dorchester, and it's places where you can get a place to park. But now we got that figured out, so we use a third party for that.
Okay, because I don't know if that would really actually be allowed on this property, specifically because you don't have any fencing. And I know for a fact that the properties over here on John Dunn, people are always walking through. If it's Walgreens or not, or whether they're cutting the corner, trying to get further up Market Street. Ways for it. And I would think that anybody, unfortunately, it could happen. Climb into your dumpsters or, try to side them and see what's going on. Oh my God, has this guy got any metal in here? Blah, blah. It's one
No, I
of
understand.
it's a
You
new,
know,
it's,
I understand it's a
that,
possibility, but like I said, it's something that we are planning to get rid of.
Rob, if I may for a minute, you keep freezing up when you,
Yeah, it was freezing here too.
I was afraid it was my connection, so thank you for saying that.
There you go.
yeah, we lost Rob.
Yeah, maybe he's. Hmm. Since we can't have a conversation of substance, does somebody want to call him to make sure he's just signed off and trying to get back on, or?
Yeah, I can give him a
Yeah,
call.
he
I'm
knows.
sure.
He's trying to get back on.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. Yeah, yeah, you know? Okay, good.
sure. We'll give him a second or two.
Yeah, I figured that was
I'm
the
sure.
case. Just didn't want to assume.
As I'm listening to you guys, I'm wondering if this whole parking question didn't get flagged because the special permit application is for storage, which wouldn't necessarily require parking. Does that make
Allison,
sense?
actually, in his
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
explanation in depth, he wants to open, according to this, open a retail in this address. And open a retail with storage for selling PVC building materials, windows, roofing, and siding nails. So he wants to open a retail business there.
Okay, no, that's fair. I think my confusion is because I think the retail is allowed and the storage is the thing that triggers a special permit. Does that make sense to you?
The retail is allowed. You can, I'm looking at number one, call it, 415-14-1C, call it hardware stores. They're selling nails. Okay, say it's, you can say it, you can say hardware stores, sell shingles and stuff like that. I can classify this as a Home Depot light. You know, that's cool. Allison's 100% right when it comes to the storage operations. That's what does trigger it. The special permit end of it. And again, I am having a hard time with the box trailer, you know, the dump trailers. If anything was fenced, if it was in a fenced area, I'd say, okay, I could see. That way at least we're doing the best that we can to, you know, to keep people out of it, but you know, that I don't think is gonna work. The other question that I did have was, again, when you get your material brought in, you said they're in a storage container like what you have on site, is that correct?
Sorry, you're freezing up again. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, when your stuff is brought in,
Yeah,
okay? You said that it comes in a storage container,
shipping container.
shipping container, so it's like it's like the Connex box that you have on site currently, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So do you just pick one up?
No,
Okay,
no, we
So-
unload that container. That container goes back. It never leaves the truck.
it never leaves the truck. So do you unload that by hand?
By forklift.
And where is that forklift stored?
No, we don't store. We rented one that day.
Okay, so you rent the forklift. How do you get it there?
What's that again?
How do you get the forklift to your site?
Oh, whoever rents it, they bring it in. They bring in the back of the flatbed, I guess. Yeah.
They bring it in the back. So it's like one of those Moffats. It's on the back of the.
No. They have no. It's not a Muffet. It's they have a flatbed truck that brings the forklift there.
The rubber tire forklift, Rob.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a low forklift.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So you rent one of those. Right? So somebody's gotta bring that in on a trailer.
Mhm.
Do you do that prior to getting the shipping container?
Yeah, one day before.
One day before? Right?
Yeah, and we returned when we done unloading it the next day.
Okay. Again, there's not a lot of room to maneuver on the site. That's the problem I think that's the problem that a lot of the board members are having right now.
Yeah, well, I disagree with you on that because we unloaded that container that's sitting there right now. I unloaded that container from a truck with a big forklift that we rented, and there was plenty of room to even that container was unloaded in front of the building. I was able to maneuver it and put on the side of the building. And there was plenty of room. We never had to go into the street for that. So there was plenty of room for that. We didn't had any problems with the spacing.
Okay. Oh, it's a different animal when you're trying to take stuff from one container and put it to another container. And I'm assuming you're gonna have guys on site with you while you're doing that.
Yeah, it's me, my guys. Yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna have to park their trucks.
Yeah.
And this is where and you're gonna
Yeah,
have
but
dump trailers for a little while.
I don't know, like we have room on four sides of the building. So why couldn't I just park the trucks on the back of the building? Why would that be a problem while we're doing this work?
Like I said, there's not a lot of room to maneuver.
Well,
You've only got-
again, I would disagree with you with that. I'll have to disagree because I was there and there was plenty of room. And actually, we need less room if I'm just unloading a container, because this time we're not taking the whole container off the truck like we did before.
Okay. Let's see, do you have anything else? Oh, what are you storing inside the building other than the nails and stuff? Because it's a decent sized building.
For you, but not really. I'm gonna put the PVC inside of the building, and that's why I have the extra container outside, because there's not a lot of place, not a lot of room inside that building for, 140-foot container will fill up that building. It's not as big as you think it is. Like inside of the building would be tough to maneuver too much stuff there. So that's why I use the extra container outside.
Yeah, I've been in that building many times. It's a decent sized building in there. You want to
Well,
you want to disagree with me? Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, I think if you see what we sell, you're gonna agree with me. Those are 18-foot long boards. They're pretty long. So the boards take like almost half of the building by length. So when you store in that kind of stuff, the building looks small. Because what we store are long boards,
Mhm. Well,
I'd
I've seen
love
it
to have
filled with
it.
vehicles. I've
I'm
seen it
sorry?
filled with vehicles. I've seen it filled with vehicles and vans and stuff
yeah.
like that. I remember it when it was an automotive shop.
Yeah, no, maybe for a car would be easier to maneuver, but for those PVC boards, even to get through the door is a hassle, because, the doors are not wide enough. So we got to go sideways, like, the building, it's not only store, you need room to maneuver. So the building is not that big for that matter. If you can imagine, like you just mentioned, like a Home Depot, so if you can imagine like a hardware store, it wouldn't be big enough to be a hardware store there, because it's not a lot of room for storage of what we use.
Mhm. Allison, you got any? Is she still here? Allison, you got any concerns at this point?
No, can you hear me? Let me see. I'll put my video on. Can you hear me and see me okay?
There you are.
Yes. No, I don't. I think from like a planning perspective and looking at like the, how that entire area kind of melds together, I think like the retail use makes sense. I think our probably flag on this was the storage and the placement of that storage container on the lot, and making sure that we have a way to verify and validate that it's been moved, so that if we have to enforce where it is placed, we have a mechanism to enforce it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let's see. At this point, I'm going to open it up to the general public. Is there anybody in the general public that wants to speak in favor of this application? Hearing none, I'm going to go to the general public and say, is there anybody that wants to speak in opposition to this application? Hearing none, I'm going back to my board members. Did anything, somebody's saying something.
Hi.
Okay, we got a,
Everybody hear me?
well, I got two people trying to talk at the same time. I think it was the Jared. I think you got in first. Name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Jared Malarski. I own International Motorsports here at 7 Market Street, right on the curve there by the pond.
Okay.
So I just wanted to learn more about what Mr. Tranquils is working on, and from what I've heard so far, it sounds like a good to have a healthy business using that space. So I just wanted to appear here and voice my support for it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Now phone call. Somebody on the phone. You wanted to speak? Now
They just
No, we
muted
can't hear you.
themselves.
they just muted themselves, so I guess we're not talking to them. Okay. Going back to the board members. Board members, you got anything to say? Got anything new that popped up?
Not for me, Mr. Chairman.
Not for, okay. So at this point, what I'm gonna say is, I
Motion
would-
with the public hearing.
there it is. Need a second.
I'll
Second,
second.
Oh, yeah, I got too many seconds. I got a Baker Senior and a Baker Junior. So we need a roll call. Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Junior,
yes.
Mr. Tanzi.
Yes.
All right, Michael, let me just read my cheat sheet here. Let's see, the board will deliberate tonight and you're welcome to stay. You will receive a decision in the mail with a date stamp 21 days from the date on the date stamp. Go to the town clerk's office, request a certificate of no appeal. If no one has appealed, the town clerk will give you a certification and a copy of the original decision. You take those to the registry of deeds, have them recorded. One of the conditions is always to show the building department proof of recording. All set?
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. All right, so let me get back to my agenda. Where are you? There's my agenda. All right, now we're looking at a discussion item. Let's see, it's discussion, deliberation, and potential vote at the 1-year review of the conditions pursuant to the special permit filed April 28th, 2023, ZBA case number 2023-07, the banner. Mr. Barry, how you doing, sir?
Very good, thanks.
Say it again.
Very good, thanks. Can you hear me
Yes,
all
I
right?
can. Thank you, Alicia.
Okay.
So, let's look at where we are at this point. Basically, what we're here to do is we're looking at anything that has come up over the last year, basically since since the special permit. Plus, from what I understand, Alicia, you want to open a cafe next door.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so basically, because we're bringing in another use into the building, we kind of got to make sure that everything is correct with the initial use, and then we can see about your use. Does that make sense? Yes? Am I frozen again?
No, they froze up.
They froze? Okay.
Comments.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah,
All right. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Allison. I know she's got some things that she wants to talk about. Allison, if you don't mind, you got the floor.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rob. And Alicia, it's been nice to meet you. Alicia's been in a couple times in preparation for tonight as she starts to get her part of the building, which will be is it the cafe or the Banner Cafe?
The Banner Cafe.
The Banner Cafe up and running. And so I wasn't here when this original decision was made last year. And so as I was reviewing this and in preparation of understanding how you were going to fold into this business, I just wanted to flag a couple of things for the ZBA to kind of consider as, you know, as we're getting ready to think about this new addition of use. And a couple here that I wanted to point out that become problematic from an enforcement perspective is really this requirement of a third-party parking agreement. You know, it is in a 40R district. And so we're trying to, like, you know, decrease our parking requirements. You know, and I do understand that this particular building has some residential uses or a residential use on the floor above. That having been said, I'm just wondering if anyone has any feedback on any parking related issues. I haven't heard of any, but it's something I do want to think about because, you know, we can't essentially do anything if the two parties that are entered into the parking agreement between Mr. Barry and his rear neighbor, you know, if that doesn't continue, we don't really have any recourse there. So that was number one. And number two is like the description on the liquor license that was issued. That liquor license states the entire, like essentially the entire envelope of this business. And we need to clean it up so that everything is consistent with the way they anticipate the uses that will be held within the footprint of the building, and including the outdoor use of the patio space. I have gotten some feedback that right now people smoke out there, which is not consistent with our regulations. If you want to allow smoking, you have to have like an exterior marked designated smoking area that I believe has to be at least 20 feet away from the public entrance to your building. You know, so that means it would be prohibited from that outdoor patio space. Another thing that we want to think a little bit more about is the dumpster. I know that you guys just got a new dumpster, but I'm trying to understand if in the original decision, it was required to be fenced, but even if it wasn't, our Board of Health regulations require fencing around dumpsters. And that's not to say that these are all things that will prohibit anything from happening, but they're just things that I think we want to think about as we're reflecting on this first year of business where the banner's been open, so that we can all get on the same page and kind of set Alicia up for success in her own space within the building. And that's all my comments.
Okay, I looked at a couple of things that I think you guys, I'm pretty sure they came from you guys. The easement and the easement plans that came in, that I got a copy of. It talked about an easement around the pieces of building that were kind of over the property line. Does that sound familiar? Bill?
You talking to me?
Yes, Bill, I'm talking to you. I'm only assuming you're aware of the documentation that got submitted.
Is that a question for Bill? Because I'm getting, it's spotty coming through.
Yeah, Bill.
Okay, yeah, I understand about the easement and what's going on with the easement.
Okay,
I had the plan drawn.
I know you did. The problem is that what was submitted to us for this meeting, it only took into consideration easements for those portions of the building that were going over the property line. And it actually only took into consideration two pieces of building that were going over the property line. That's all that easement took into play, took into consideration. It didn't talk about access. It didn't talk about the parking. And the other thing is we don't have a copy of the agreement when it comes to the parking. You were supposed to get that recorded with the registry of deeds. So I don't have that.
Yeah, that is recorded.
All right, so we needed that, we would need to see that. We would need to see
Oh, he got the easement recording. He didn't get the paperwork that says that we can drive on that piece of property, I guess. It's not really an easement, it's an agreement.
No, it has to be an easement. It's an access easement. I know it's an agreement, but it's an access easement that gives you the ability to drive in there, access the back of your site. Is, that's really what it's coming down to. It's access. You can't access technically any of your site without crossing your neighbor's property. So that's an access easement. The dumpster that you guys have, that's not on your property.
It's on the property that we rent.
Yeah, but we don't have that. If it's not recorded, we don't have that. We don't have a plan
Okay.
showing that we don't have a plan showing that that's supposed to have, that you have the ability to do that. And in turn, it isn't fenced, so anybody could get in there. So that's also a problem.
A fence where?
Around the dumpster. If you look at and just about any commercial property in this town, most every commercial property, their dumpster is fenced. That's just how it's supposed to be. So,
Well, they're not fenced. Every dumpster around us is not fenced.
well,
The dentist office isn't fenced. Well, I know. So I'm just, I believe you. So I'll get you guys and we can have another meeting and I'll get the parking arrangement and agreement that was recorded in order for me to open 6 months ago when we started the venture. And I'll get that copy to you that shows you the parking arrangement and agreement that was recorded at the registry.
Yeah, that's definitely something that needs to be kind of put in.
And then I'll talk to Tom Rubel about fencing in the dumpster, but to be honest with you, until you said it, it wasn't required. It wasn't written by anybody in the town when we first opened, but it's a small thing that I don't mind doing. Even if my neighbors aren't fenced in, that's fine. I'll comply because I want to comply.
Well, let's make sure you have permission to put
But I
that
could drive
dumpster on his
around
property
town.
first.
The dumpster's been there since 20 years now. I have permission by the person that owns the property over there.
Well,
I have an
have
agreement.
that and prove
Yep.
that. That's it.
And then I'll fence it in. I'll talk to Tom Rubel about fencing it in.
It's a Board of Health regulation.
That was Mr. Baker Senior.
Yes, it's a Board of Health regulation. You'd have to talk to them. The health agent.
Okay, I'll talk to both of them.
There you
Yep.
go. Does anybody, I'm gonna start in that order. Mr. Anything to talk about?
No, I think the one thing that Allison touched on was the smoking. If you go by there, the people are standing right in front of the door. And they're supposed to be 20 feet away from the door, at least. But they're standing there with the door open and puffing away. So you gotta kind of put some signage up there or something that says no smoking within 20 feet of the doorway, the entranceway, And that was in an email that we got from the Board of Health today.
Yep, I got the email today. I taped it off and we found a spot that's suitable. And the next step would be to talk to the building department and the health department and make sure they like what we're doing with signage and the location.
That's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Galley?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Mr. Baker Junior?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, it's my understanding we're here for the 1-year review. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So Allison had mentioned an anticipated future use of part of the building.
Yes, Mr. Baker, Mr. Barry's daughter Alicia is opening up a space side of the banner. And it's part of the entire, it's carved out within the entire footprint. But they have it set up as it's a separate entity under an umbrella entity. And the way that the original decision is written, and the description that's provided on like the liquor license and all the other materials doesn't have a distinction. So in order to like
When you say
rectify
doesn't
all
have a,
this,
when you say it doesn't have a distinction, what are you referring to?
so for the liquor license, the description includes the entire building and all the parts inside. There's not a separate area as they're now applying to change. Is that helpful?
It is.
Okay, so I want to make sure that we're cleaning up all the language so that there's no issues for her or the town moving forward and everyone knows where everything's supposed to be.
And how would they go about cleaning up those issues?
I think we can just do a modification, ask for a minor modification to the special permit.
By this board or by the select board as the liquor licensing?
I think it's gonna have to be both.
So ours would be the first step and then to them.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, Allison, you also mentioned something about the parking agreement and it being problematic.
So, yeah,
Could you explain that, please?
sure. So we have Mr. Barry was required to enter into a third-party parking agreement with
Right.
the neighbor out back. And in theory, that seems like it would be a fine thing, except that the parking agreement is between the two current owners. If the party out back sells their property, we have no way of enforcing that parking requirement any further. And so I just wanted to think about that as we're in this review process. Things have changed in the last year. We're trying to make improvements to the Main Street area. I get that he has residents living, above that space. But I don't know that parking is the thing we want to hang our hat on. Is there a way that we can rethink, maybe working to put, 2-hour parking out front so that residents aren't parking out there. If we're getting feedback that parking is a problem, it's just an issue that I wanted to flag, given that there is really no way for us to regulate that third-party agreement out back. And that's all.
So
It comes down to, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Baker Jr. I apologize.
No, go ahead, Rob.
The 2-hour parking signs, since that's town parking, doesn't town regulate that?
Yeah, sure. I'm just starting the conversation. Is there really like an issue with parking? Haven't seen one.
I guess what I'm asking is what direction can you give Mr. Barry as to what he needs to do to satisfy your concerns about the parking?
So I don't have any concerns tied to the commercial parking out front. My concern is about how do we enforce that third party agreement out back. That's something I can flag for Bob Galvin, because there isn't an immediate solution available to us given the parking requirements that we're currently following.
And right now, he's complying with the parking
Correct.
requirements that were put in place when
Yes, he is.
when this was written. Okay.
Yep.
And your concern is that at some time in the future, should there be a change in ownership of the property where the parking is located, that may affect his ability to comply with the requirement?
Yes, and I'm flagging it because it's in the special permit. And that's
This
it.
is why it needs to be an easement. This is
Right.
exactly why it needs to be an easement over the piece of property, access and use. Because the easement will get an access and use easement with the proper language in the access and use deed, easement deed, will regulate that 100%. And that's something, and if you look at the current easement, I think it even says, runs with the land, and what was the other thing? I don't even think it gave a time on it, or maybe, and if it did, most easements are they're looked at as a 99-year deal anyway. So that's how the current parking situation would be regulated. is by an easement, a properly executed easement deed and referring to a properly executed easement plan. That's how that gets regulated. And at least that doesn't change what he's got right now because we gave him the absolute minimums. I like the idea about the 2-hour parking out in front. That way it kind of allows more than just people that are living there the opportunity to use their spaces. So I kind of like that. I do kind of like that. It makes sense, but again, I don't know. We're here just talking about things at this point. That was Mr. Baker Jr. I'm sorry, sir, that went off on a tangent there. I feel like I apologize for that. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, sir?
You talking to me, Rob, or to
Yes,
Mr.
Mr. Baker Jr. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm all set for now. Thanks.
Are you good? Mr. Tanzi, you got anything?
No, not at this point.
Let me see, we're going around here, and I feel like Mr. Galley, I feel like your position on my screen changed. Did we talk to you yet?
Yeah, I already had nothing to contribute. The screen did move.
All right, I apologize.
No hard feelings.
Deb, I know that there's been other talk and other communication. Was there anything that you remember that we needed to talk about?
I don't believe so. I think that covers it. Just porch seating, if the number of tables increases the
That's right.
occupancy load.
That's right. There is gonna be that is something that needs to be addressed. And it was never addressed when we were doing the first special permit. I know the outdoor seating for the patio was, but the porch never was. And just by the by, it looks really good out there. I like the tables, I like the setup. It's just unfortunately, how many tables are out there?
There's 6.
This a total of 6. Is it two?
Yeah.
Is it 2 seats
Five.
per
I'm sorry, five.
5?
Please.
2 seats per table?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's gonna change, that is gonna change the occupancy. Which again, that's something that we'd have to talk to Tom Rubel about. And again, it was never discussed. It was never discussed in the original special permit about being able to sit out there. So that if you want that to be able to be a thing, we need to incorporate that into the special permit. So that's one thing that if you wanted to talk about this and you want people to be able to sit out there, which is kind of a cool thing, we'd have to talk about modifying the special permit. I kind of like the idea. I don't know if it's allowable. I believe that it is. I think that's something that if you want to do it, I mean, I can only assume you want to do it because there's tables out there, right?
Well, there's tables out there and there was a ruling on it that the town allowed it. And it's still printed out there on, that the town had a meeting about it to allow it out there. But that was some time ago.
Yeah, do we have a copy of this?
Well, I
Mr.
can get
Barry,
you
are
a
you
copy.
referring to like during COVID for the outdoor seating?
I'm not sure when it started, to be honest with you. But I do
Okay.
have a copy of the, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a generally something that the state required certain towns to allow outdoor seating during COVID. I'm not sure where it stands now, but that doesn't mean that it's bad practice. What I'm hearing is I think we have a punch list of things to get modified for your special permit to allow your business to operate the way that it's intended and to allow for Alicia to open her space within there. That would really require, it sounds like a lot, but it's just a modification to the special permit. And I'm happy, Rob, to sit with Alicia. She's been coming in to get all of the documentation that's required of her. So we can go over this with her, make her a checklist, and then kind of take it from there if that seems like it makes sense for everyone, just so we can get kind of all of this done maybe in one hearing next time.
Again, this is just a meeting, so we're just talking. But again, Alicia, this sounds like what it's gonna take to get you in there. That's what it's gonna take, is sitting down, making some modifications to make sure that, because again, new secondary business that's coming in there, that's the big problem.
That makes sense. Sounds good.
If that's good by you, then what I would recommend is sitting down with Allison, come up with exactly what she just said, a list of things that that could be modified on the special permit. We make that, you make that request, file, get this over, said and done with, and get you in there.
Rob,
If
if I
I-
may,
Sounds awesome.
one more.
Mr. Baker Senior,
The porch seating. Would we have to modify the liquor license? Because if they're serving alcohol out there for dinner or lunch, there's no way of to make sure that the alcohol is staying on the table or in the person's hand and not being passed out through the railings or over the railings.
very true.
So I don't know how we're gonna regulate that.
Well, it's something that we're gonna have to figure out. So, like I said,
Maybe we should maybe ask Allison to shoot a letter to the police chief, seeing what his recommendation is.
Yeah, that's not a problem. And generally, when we clean up the description of the premise that the liquor license will regulate, that language will be included in it. But I will definitely reach out to Chief Zioli and see if they have like a standard, policy that they want us to put somewhere that
Yeah,
we can
there's
take back to the liquor
only
license.
alcohol in glasses and no bottles or cans or anything like that outside of because now the liquor license is for the interior of the building. Now we're moving it, they want to move it to the outside too.
Yeah, and we'll check in with Bob Galvin, the town attorney, too, and make sure that our language is, on the up and up for the ABCC.
I just don't want to see, we go through all of this and they get there and they open up and all of a sudden the ABC comes down and closes the place down because they're serving alcohol outside of the building.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I hear that.
Mr. Galley raising his hand.
Yeah, thank you. Unless I'm misreading it, it looks like the liquor license allows the liquor to be consumed on the porch. So I'm just wondering, unless I'm misreading it, so I'm just wondering if it's a matter of putting up signs to say no alcohol beyond this point. I mean, because you can't physically stop everyone from going outside, down the stairs onto the sidewalk, but at least legally you can put a sign up, couldn't you, that says no alcohol beyond this point? I've seen that at other businesses. I forget where, but that sounds like a solution to that concern.
Really comes down to what the chief of police is gonna say at this point.
Yeah. But the license, doesn't it already approve?
We're gonna talk to the chief of police.
Okay.
He's the ruling authority on this one. So
I'm just curious, does he override the license after it's been approved?
Well, I think what we're trying to do is clean up the license because the descriptions, there's some discrepancies between what the select board has, what we have.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that it's consistent. And whatever it is, we'll sort it out and make sure that all the agencies that regulate it are on the same page.
Well, I understand that, Allison, but I share Mr. Galley's concerns that if the face of the license says a certain activity is permitted,
yeah,
how, without going through another regulatory process, can that be changed?
Right. I'm not advocating that we are dismissing the original description. There's conflicting descriptions across the different agencies. So like the select board has one description on the liquor license. We have a different description on the special permit. I just want to make sure that all the descriptions that apply to these certain areas are correct and with the intended purpose for what we are asking or they applied for. And if it means that it's not just a minor modification, that we have to change something, then so be it. But we want everything to be consistent and clear according to the intention of the special permit and the liquor license.
And not to interrupt, but we have a decision that we have to go to, and then we have a 9 o'clock executive session.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
at this point, I'm gonna suggest that we just let it go. We're gonna come in, we're gonna talk about modifying special permit. And once that's all set, then they come back to us and we go from there. Everybody good?
Can I just ask Mr. Barry if he's comfortable with the knowledge he has of what he needs to provide the next time he comes in?
Good call. Mr. Barry?
Yeah, I've been taking notes and Alicia is gonna hook on with Allison, so between her and Allison and Mrs. Shuttlesworth, I think before I come back, I'll check in even with Tom Rubel and Del Sean, and then just make sure everything's complete.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Barry.
Looking forward to
Appreciate it. We'll see you,
more
catch you next time
after.
around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
All right, so now we can start talking about the 49 Market Street. Anybody wanna start talking?
Excuse me, Rob,
Yes.
number 4 on the agenda, do you want to do that before deliberations?
Oh, where are we? Number four, discussion. Oh, yeah, that's great. The plan, number 4, discussion item for and proposed vote. I don't even know if we need a vote on this, but the planning board has asked the zoning board of appeals to have an in-person joint meeting on Wednesday, September 18th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Town Hall Upper Conference Room for Sewer Commissioner Chuck Hession to give a presentation on activities and a status update. So do we want to attend a joint meeting with the planning board to hear Chuck? He's got
What's
stuff
it-
to talk about.
What's it gonna be like? How does it involve us? I'm just curious.
Activities and a status update. That's what it's gonna be on. It involves us because just about almost every single, no, not every single thing. I'll say
Mhm.
about 65% of what comes to us
Yeah.
has something to do with sewer. So it's
Yep.
something that does involve this board. As a resident of this town, it
Mhm.
involves all of us. So yeah.
And
So
Rob,
it's-
you guys could potentially get questions from residents about this because
Yeah.
I think it's been a hot minute since you've had smoke testing in Rockland.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, especially older neighbors, like they'll see it and they think their house is on fire or something. They're gonna put dye into the sewer system, and it helps the fire department, this engineering firm, determine where the inflow issues are happening.
Mhm.
And so, people might think that something, catastrophic is happening on their property. And, if people ask you questions, you'll be informed. Is that helpful?
Well, it's more, I feel like it's more for Chuck to be able to just get another public outlet to be able to talk about
Yeah.
what's going on with the sewer. And I dig that, I understand that, saying I don't see it being a problem. Again, it's a meeting situation. It's not something where we're gonna have to make any kind of decisions or anything like that. He's just asking us to attend, so. Our planning board asked us to attend. And as a,
Rob, would we have to post that?
Yep.
More
but
than
only
three
as
of
a,
us.
only as a 48-hour agenda.
Right.
So there's time on all of this to do it.
I appreciate the invitation, Mr. Chairman. I'm just gonna offer my usual caveat about having difficulty being anywhere by 6.
Oh, it's 6 o'clock. No, I know. And the thing is, because there's no voting, this is only sitting down and listening. So there's no voting that we gotta worry about, so we don't even need a quorum. That's really what it comes down to.
Right.
I think that sounds. Sorry, I was gonna say I think this sounds good because especially with Shingle Mill and all the conversations about water quality in the town. It'll be nice that we hear what they're doing with this testing and know, yeah, when your water turned purple or whatever they're gonna do and smoke's coming out, that was testing. That wasn't the water going to pot.
Yeah.
So at least we'll know when people talking about, I remember what happened last August or whatever, we'll know what they're talking about. So that's
I mean,
good.
I'm going regardless.
Yeah.
It's whether y'all wanted it, whether y'all want to or not, I don't, it's not a thing. I'm saying that, I'm gonna go. It's a matter of, are we gonna actually post this and say, yep, the zoning board is gonna participate? And again, Mr. Baker Jr., I understand 6 o'clock ain't gonna happen for you. It never does. That's understood. Mr. Tansey,
The ride home tonight was a quick 2 hours.
Mr. Tansey, where are you at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, I should be available.
All right. Mr. Baker Senior, you do nothing. So you should
What
be
do you
around.
mean I do nothing? I do a lot of stuff.
You garden. I heard you're gardening and stuff. All right, so that's at least 4 of us that have the potential to show up. I can dig that. All right.
Before
Deb,
we
if
do
you
that,
wanna,
do we have to go to that thing Thursday night,
yes,
that committee?
that's municipal. That's for any and all updates for the open meeting law. That's any updates for, I don't think there's been any updates to the charter and stuff like that, because there's all kinds of stuff that we have to,
Right.
adhere to and know. So and it's big time on the open meeting law. I mean, if you don't go, I mean,
She's gonna get a hold of you and do it.
Mr.
Sure.
Chairman, I think, and only because I communicated with the person who was setting it up on the same issue of being here at 6 o'clock. And
Mhm.
she's working out some alternative means for folks who can't get there.
perfect.
Yep.
What time? I don't even know what time she had it set up for.
6 o'clock,
6 to 8.
6 to 8 Thursday.
Put it this way.
That's
Where is
this-
she? That's this Thursday. Where is she?
Yeah.
Where's it supposed to be? Is it the auditorium or the lecture hall or something like that?
High school,
High school lecture, I believe it is.
the high
The
school
lecture hall?
lecture hall.
I can talk to WRPS and see if I can get a camera in there with some sort of audio. No, actually, I think they've got that. I think they already got that set up. So that should be able to be recorded. So if it really came down to it, Mr. Baker, you could watch a recording and still say you attended.
Mhm.
So yes, you have somehow, some way you gotta go. Again, it's just it's update, it's any and all updates to any of these laws that we just don't know. Town charter hasn't been changed in forever, but still, it's gonna be town charter, it's gonna be state statute and ethics commission. It's all stuff we gotta know. So we're not too bad. We know we do pretty well. I think the only complaint that we had was the one on me when it came down to the whole COVID thing, and they were talking about the I didn't tell what I do. I didn't do a roll call. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
You didn't say that we were doing a Zoom meeting and all that. You didn't
Yeah, we were
announce
doing-
it.
I didn't announce that everybody was participating remotely or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's things that still have to, there's things that you don't know what you don't know. I think somebody once said that to me. So
Excuse me, Rob,
Yes, sir.
WRPS is going to be recording it. And Courtney is going to provide a link to that to whoever can't be there.
there it is.
So Bob, you might want to contact Courtney and she can set you up with it.
There you go.
I'll be there anyway. So
So this is the high
So-
school auditorium in the
Lecture hall, I think.
lecture hall.
where we met before.
Yeah.
With Shingle Mills.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or you could just show up a little before 6 o'clock and follow everybody else.
I suppose.
Yeah. Actually, I got to make a note about going to the school when the town hall is one thing. The school gotta make a note for someone not to lock the bathrooms up until we leave the building.
Mm.
When you're holding it for the meeting and then all of a sudden you walk out the door and the bathroom's locked on you, that's unpleasant.
No, it's true, but then isn't there like a planter right out there?
That's a good point. Yeah,
Definitely a belt height, so.
as long as there's no, as long as there's no
With a camera-
cameras at a school, there won't be no indecent exposure.
True.
Bad bosses, anybody?
All right, so too late. Now we got 15 minutes to talk about 49 Market Street. So here we go. Go for it. Anybody? Bueller?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he can make it work. What do you think?
I mean,
I
I
don't know.
agree. He can operate if he thinks he can operate there, but if there's the rules, if there are rules about parking or something, then that's another matter.
Yeah, he's not taking it seriously. That's what I'm nervous about. I saw what he did when he moved. I'm not saying he's not capable. I'm not saying he's not capable, but there are rules to the whole parking situation.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, he said that what did he say about the pallets and the stuff? He said that they break them down.
He takes
Yeah,
them home, burns them.
No, that's not true. They're all leaning up against the
Right.
leaning up against the guardrail right now.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we're getting complaints about where I've gotten complaints from the guy next door saying the guy leaves his site a mess and stuff blows onto his property. So he's saying that he doesn't have a dumpster on site.
Mhm.
That I find that's ridiculous.
He beat around that bush.
I know he did. That's ridiculous. He needs he needs an on-site dumpster. He needs something. He's got to have. I think Eric. I thought it was a bylaw. I thought it was
A business should have a.
I thought it was a Board of Health thing. I thought every business has to have something on site for refuse. I thought.
You have to prove by a contract.
Yeah.
With a dumpster company that you have a dumpster on your property.
Okay.
Any business.
So,
Even even a homeowner, if they don't want to pay their trash fees, they
Yep.
have to prove what they're doing with that trash.
all
They
right.
have
So
to show a contract from a dumpster company or something.
All right, so let's start making a list here. So I think that if we were to approve this, he's going to need a dumpster. One of the conditions is he's going to need an on-site dumpster, and we're going to need to see where it's going to be placed. So he's going to need to provide an updated site plan. All right, so that's number one. All right, showing where the dumpster location is going to be. Number two, say again.
Parking requirements.
Parking requirements. The ones that are along the northerly border, the angled parking, that's not going to work. None of those are going to work, and he does not have the backup distance. Plus, you're backing into access to the place. He doesn't have that blocked off. All right. So
Right.
none of those parking spaces are going to work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parking spaces. All right. I don't feel like that's going to work. He's gonna have to move the storage container. All right. The storage container if it's gonna stay there permanently, has to be a minimum of 5 feet off the property line. And he's gonna have to produce a certified as-built plan showing where it is. Along with stakes set by the surveyor that Tom Rubel can go out with a tape measure and measure off those stakes to see where it is. So that's two means. Because the only way that it's going to work is surveyor has to go out there, show him with a property line. Somebody's going to have to measure off 5 feet. He's going to have to move the dang thing, and then again, so that's my 2 cents on that. So when it comes to parking, I don't know. I think we can allow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parking spaces. The 6 parking spaces that he's got, it looks like he's trying to block it off. I don't see anything called out, but it looks like those are like barriers on the site plan. Does that look right? I don't know if anybody's looking at the site plan.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. I couldn't
I-
pull that up on I couldn't print it out.
They
It's
might
just,
be
it's,
like flower boxes or something. I don't know. what
can't
I
they
read
don't
it.
think they're flower, he didn't call them out as anything. I don't think they're flower boxes. It just looks like some sort of a barrier or something like that. I think if we, I think if we condition some sort of barrier fence with concrete, no, with, what are they called? Wheel stops?
Will stop.
Yeah,
Wheel
tires.
stops, tire stops. Concrete is preferred, but rubber is allowed. I know Tom Rubel has allowed those rubber ones because they're easier to, easier to get up. So when you're plowing your parking lot, again, I don't see that being a problem, but those spaces are going to have to be striped.
Yeah.
And again, he's got, he's saying a total of 3 pickup trucks. All right, so that's 3. Then again, if there's customers coming in, he's only going to need 3 customers. Now, when you look at the parking requirements, I think the parking requirements are based on the retail sales floor. I remember seeing that. How
Right.
big's the retail sales floor? I have no idea. I can only assume it's no bigger than the retail sales floor that was in there when it was Fader's place. And that wasn't that big.
Yeah.
All right, that wasn't that big. So I think 3 spaces will work for that. All right, because I remembered I had to do what were we doing? We were doing Panopticon, and their sales space, the sales space over at Panopticon was tiny. It was something ridiculous, like 350 square feet. I mean, it was tiny. And that only required 2 parking spaces. So I think that I think if it's the same, if it's roughly the same that Fader had, he can get away with the 3. And again, I am not a big fan of these dump trailers. I don't like what he's got. I don't think those should be allowed on site.
No.
I agree, Mr. Chairman, for a couple of reasons. One, they're not secured. They're certainly not fenced. The property's not fenced. And he said he puts a tarp over it. The other thing is they're not related to the business. It's carrying refuse from his other business and
Right.
leaving it there for pickup. So I agree. They shouldn't be allowed there at all.
All right, so that takes that out of play. Now, when he's dealing with the storage, all right, when he's or not the storage, when he's dealing with the deliveries, okay. So big truck's gonna come in, it's gonna have the storage container on it. He's gonna have to move that, he's gonna have to yank everything out with the lull. All right. The
Right.
lull is gonna have to pull everything out. It's gonna have to put someplace. What my point is that all that area is going to be in like the working area that he's going to be using is the parking spaces out front. So he's not going to be able to park anybody out front. He's going to end up having to park the trucks out back. It's just, it's because he's not going to be able to park it on the side because the storage container is going to be there. So dumpster. No storage of any materials outside. I don't think that this is not, while I know that Home Depot stores stuff outside, it's all behind the building or
It's secured.
It's secure. All right. There's nothing secure about the on-site of this. And
No.
again, I know for a fact, everybody walks through that. Everybody coming up John Dunn Drive, they cut through either Atlantic Automotive or they cut through the front of his property and sometimes the back of his property just to cut off that corner and get down Market Street that much further. So it's not a secure piece of property. He even said that. So no outside storage of anything except for inside that storage container. I don't think that's too out of the ordinary. It's not a secure site whatsoever. I'd love to say something about the landscaping. Right now, it looks it's atrocious out there. Has anybody driven by this place?
The weeds are all over the place.
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah. The weeds are over the windows. All right. There's big old graffiti on the side of the building and on the front of the building, and he hasn't done anything about it.
Well, can't we put a condition on it that he has to clean clean it up, bring it up to,
Can we put a condition on it that says that the landscaping must be maintained?
landscape must be cleaned up and maintained
Okay, I like
on a
that.
regular basis.
Yep. I like that. All right, so again, we're gonna require a revised site plan that show only the 6 parking spaces out front, that show the location of the dumpster, fenced in. We're gonna require that the site plan
Rob, a
show
fenced-in trash dumpster.
fenced in trash dumpster.
Yes.
Okay. And then we're gonna want the updated site plan to show the location of the storage trailer after it's been moved.
Mhm. No overnight storage. Outside storage of any kind of vehicle.
Yeah, you can't say that. You can't say that. I think he should be, if for some reason they want to leave the pickups there out in front, I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that would be a problem. But no overnight storage of you can't say no overnight storage of trailers because he may need a trailer for something. All right, no overnight storage of
Trash trailers.
no overnight storage of full trash trailers. I don't
thought
mind that he has them. I don't mind that he has them.
I thought when we had talked about the trash dumpsters before, we said not at all, because they're not related to his business.
No,
And
no,
they're
no.
not secu-
The dumpster that I was talking about, the dumpster I'm talking about is the one that the office is gonna generate, not the
Oh, okay.
not the ones that he's towing back and forth. Every office needs a dumpster,
Oh,
of
yeah.
some sort of thing. So we gotta know where that's gonna be fenced in and everything. When it comes to the trash trailers that he takes from job site to job site, we can't tell him that he can't store the trailer on site, but we can say that he can't store the
A fully loaded
you don't even want to say
construction.
that. You don't even
trailer.
want, the
No.
only dump trailers that shall be allowed to be parked on site are empty.
Okay.
Cause I don't want, there should be nothing in there.
Just
Empty, empty at all times on site.
There we go. Deb, you're hearing all this, right?
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
How late can they dump them when they go to Brockton or whatever? Do you know how late they can go?
4 o'clock is the last dump.
Okay.
Thought it was 6.
You gotta be in line by 4 o'clock.
Okay, that's
And
what it is.
then because it takes an hour or two to get through the line.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So they can finish their job, they can head on down there, get in line by 4 o'clock, and then bring an
Right.
empty dumpster trailer to their lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that I don't have a problem with. That I don't.
Okay.
And those dump trailers shall not be stored in front of the building.
Behind the building.
Only, yeah, the location of the trailer storage shall be behind the building only. Something like that.
Mhm.
I talked to Heaney. Heaney's okay with this place. Because he said because it's a single story, they'll be able to access everything from just the front and the side. So he doesn't need 360 degrees access.
You know, it's gonna be a problem too, Rob. Snow
What?
removal.
I know. See, again, snow removal.
Where the hell are they gonna put it?
Well, they can start by putting it where those parking spaces are on the side where we're not going to allow them to have parking spaces. So we can start there, but that pile is going to end up getting to be like 10 feet tall. And then he's going to have to truck it off,
Mhm.
so maybe we designate, on the revised site plan, he has to show a designated place for snow removal.
Snow
Then we
storage.
get- Yeah, for snow storage, but then we get, so we do that, and he could put it anywhere. He could put it anywhere. Gregor,
Yeah.
how do we do this? I want to place to store the snow. I want it on the revised site plan. But the thing is that we're not meeting again. So he could just show it on the site plan, and as long as it shows somewhere on the site plan, he complied.
Yeah, I mean, what did Fader do with it?
What did Fader do? What did Fader do? Fader didn't have a. Fader never had any cars really parked out front. Because you got to remember, when Fader had it, it was a big old overhang.
Right.
Remember?
There was a
Big
gas.
old overhang with the pumps in there. So there was no place out in front. I think occasionally he had one or two cars between the two Market Street entrances, one or two. I don't
Mhm.
believe he really had anything where the guys got the angled parking, maybe one or two, but they were parallel with the sideline.
Or down where the
Very-
container was.
Yeah, he had one. No, he didn't really even have anything over there. I remember he would use that.
He had the dumpster over there and his iron pile.
Yep. And occasionally he would pull a car over there once it came out of the shop.
Right.
I think wasn't there a door? Isn't there a door over there too? I
Yep.
think there's an overhead door on that side too.
There's an overhead door there. Yeah.
So he had access to come out of that too. So it was definitely in and out. All right, so we can designate, let's say that I'll put it into words, and we'll say that we'll designate snow storage in the northerly quadrant. I'll come up with the right terminology, but snow storage in the northerly quadrant, allowing for vehicular access off of Market Street, and then Mr. Baker Senior, you've done this before, I think. No snow piles, no on-site snow piles taller than XY, like a number. It's like no taller than like 6 feet or 7 feet or 8 feet or something. I know that came out of your mouth at some point.
Yeah. 8 feet.
8 feet,
He's
no
pushing
on.
it there because it's gonna end up on the sidewalk.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna push it back over.
Right. So no on-site, so called 6 feet. No on-site snow piles greater than 6 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
High.
So actually,
After that, they'll have to be removed.
after that, they'll have to be removed. So I'll suggest an on-site storage in the northerly quadrant along property line marked blah, 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 XYZ. I can't read this friggin' plan. 79 property. I'll give it a property line designation. So do that, and then no snow piles greater than 6 feet in height. After that, snow
Piles will have to be removed
will have to be removed
within 24 hours of the storm.
within 24 hours, or at the discretion of the zoning enforcement officer or building inspector, however you want to put it. Can we do that?
The zoning enforcement officer or the highway superintendent.
Or the highway, okay.
If he feels the pile's gonna cause a problem falling into the sidewalk path,
Yep.
that gives him, that he can tell him he has to remove it too.
All right, so perfect. So we're gonna say highway superintendent and the zoning enforcement officer. All
Yes.
right, so we got that. We got
No outside banners whatsoever
no outside
any
banners
kind.
whatsoever.
of any kind.
All signage shall comply with the current zoning bylaw.
Cause we got the dancing guy.
Yeah, I know.
No deliveries before 8 or after 6,
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. No unloading of materials on Market Street or John Dunn Drive.
Let me rewind. I want to rewind on that seven thing. The closest residents to this,
It's the apartment buildings
no, you could
next
either,
to Walgreens.
is it, or is it the part, or is it the houses on the other side of CVS?
It's close.
Right, so.
But the apartment builders would see more than the houses behind CVS.
But would they hear more? I'm not worried about seeing, I'm more worried about hearing at this point. Cause it's in a business zone, you know, it's in a business zone, I'm more worried about the sound. And again, it's a construction office. I'm assuming, he even said 7 o'clock. So they're gonna wanna get moving, and they're gonna wanna get moving at 7 o'clock. So I would say no loading or unloading of any kind prior to 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday, till, what did we say, 6?
6.
Till 6. So before, no loading or unloading of materials prior to 7 AM or past 6 PM, Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, I don't know how to do it. Saturdays, I would say 7 to 4.
7 to 2.
7 to 2. There we go. Saturdays is 7 to 2. Sundays,
No,
nothing.
no, because most of those guys aren't doing roofing and stuff on Sundays.
On Sundays, I know. So
The other thing is the legal holidays.
legal holidays. Deb,
Before-
remind, did he
whatever
give you
they are.
did he give you hours? Did he speak
No, whatever.
hours?
I don't remember.
Look at the application. He may have put the hours on the application. There, yeah, he didn't even put hours on the application. But he was very specific. It was 7 to 6, 7 to 6. I remember that was the time. He didn't say anything about Sundays. I don't remember him saying anything about Sundays, but put it this way. I think we can get away with 7 to 6, Monday through Friday, 7 to 2 on Saturday.
Mhm.
I don't know what we do for hours on Sunday.
All right, he
No
didn't
loading or
request,
unloading on Sundays.
he didn't request any hours on Sunday. Well, he didn't request any hours at all. So in the absence of a request for hours on Sunday, can we say no hours on Sunday?
Yeah, we're gonna say no hours on Sunday. We're making the determination. We're granting a special permit, so these are our conditions.
Yeah.
If he wants to modify them, then he can come back.
I mean,
Yeah,
given
he's
the
got
nat-
10 days
give-
to appeal it.
and given the nature of the business, it doesn't sound like there'd be Sunday customers.
Right.
And in
I'd
any
say
event, they're by appointment only, so he just doesn't make appointments on Sunday.
on Sunday. So
Yeah.
we've got the hours for Monday through Friday. We get the hours for Saturday. No hours on Sunday.
Mhm.
Okay.
And no work on legal holidays.
On legal holidays. We got that. What else we got?
They must meet all other boards and commissions within the town of Rockland and the
Got
state.
that. You got that. Uh,
1 year review.
1 year review. Thank you. okay, so we called these proposed, oh, actually, now I see it. Proposed flower boxes typical. Ah. Okay, so here's the question. He's got I see the notation now. Proposed flower boxes. Whoever said that was 100% correct. So what do we say? Proposed flower boxes. The applicant shall supply proposed flower boxes as shown, as shown on the site plan dated, whatever the date is, as dated March 25th, 2024, within the 10-foot buffer? He requires a
Well,
10-foot buffer, right?
Right.
Technically, it's a 10-foot parking buffer.
Yeah, he's not gonna,
You put a 10-foot parking buffer on that thing, and you're gonna be at the front door.
yeah, I think the property could be considered grandfathered because
Yeah.
you can't do it.
If he could put,
I think what you said, Rob, as shown on the design plan and reference the date
Okay.
and be done with it.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I like that. And I'm not trying to stop the guy, but I mean, we know that this site is constrained significantly.
It is.
And there's no room for any kind of on-site parking on the John Dunn Drive side. Yeah. What else we got?
that's all.
Okay.
Motion to grant with conditions.
We got a
Yeah, I'll
second.
second. Yeah.
I got a
I'll
second. I got a motion from Mr. Baker Senior. I got a second from Mr. Tanzi. Roll call. Myself is a yes. Mr. Baker Senior,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Junior,
Yes.
Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
and Mr. Galley.
Yes.
All right, rock and roll. Deb, did you send that text?
I can do it now. You have to take
Alright.
the vote,
Yep.
number 6.
Yep, going there right now so I can read the dang thing. All righty then, coming down to the bottom here. Okay. So other items not reasonably anticipated or listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent allowed by law. That was number 5. Is there anything else we got to talk about?
No,
All right, number 6, motion and vote to adjourn to executive session, not to reconvene. So I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Well,
Second.
I gotta read the whole thing first.
Oh,
I would
sorry.
entertain a motion to adjourn to close the public hearing and adjourn to executive session, not to reconvene, to discuss strategy with respect to pending litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body, and the chair to declare pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to wit, Shingle Mill versus Rockland ZBA, that's us.
So moved.
I've got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Everybody got the Zoom stuff for the open
Numbers?
meeting for the next
No.
thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's got it? Yes?
Yeah.
Did you send it?
Before we leave, just make sure everybody's got it.
Yeah, what, did
Yeah.
you send a text or an email?
I've got it it was sent as an email.
Yeah. It was one of the emails yesterday, I think it was. The
Right.
first
Afternoon.
push or today.
All right.
I can,
Afternoon.
Let me jump off and start looking for it then.
no, hold on. I'm gonna
You
send a
want the
text.
numbers, Bob?
No,
No, don't,
I
you
have
can't
it. I just
say
have
it.
to.
Oh, no, I can't.
Hold on. Baker Junior, Baker Bob, Tansy, and Mr. Galley. Making sure everybody's got it. All right, here it comes. I'm not gonna say anything.
No, again, text or email?
I'm texting everybody right now.
Okay,
Uh,
perfect.
And the
But
first number is the meeting, and then the next one is the pass.
an email today from Deb has the link at 4:16.
Yep.
Okay,
If it's
I got the
easier to
text.
find, if it's easier to find the email, go for the email. I just texted it. It's been delivered to 3 y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna do that to. And I'm sending this to you, Deb, just to make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I think because I zipped out and zipped back in, I am no longer the host. I think Deb, you're the host. So you're gonna have
You
to
can go into it right now. Chris is there.
All right, so I'm leaving later.
Oh,
Okay,
we gotta make a motion to
motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
We already did.
You did not.
That was the motion. The motion to adjourn and the motion to adjourn the public hearing, not to reconvene, and then to go into, and then it was all in
Right.
one motion.
Right, I'm sorry.
Are we?
Okay,
All right, are we good?
yep,
Bye.
go.
Yep.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.